call forth and I dedicate this flame to the Father Principle of Divine Will. I call forth and I dedicate this flame to the Mother Principle, Active Intelligence in Matter. I call forth and I dedicate this flame to the Christ, Love and Wisdom. I call forth and I dedicate this flame to the Center of Light here in Huntsville and in Australia, that we may be a beacon of light for love and light for all of mankind. Come on, be a beacon. Fired up. Call forth and I dedicate this flame to Archangel Raphael, Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing, who has power and authority over the spring season. I call forth and I dedicate this flame to the diamond platinum ray for the ascension of our bodies and the planet Earth. I call forth and I dedicate this flame to the quantum energy, all quantum beings. And this flame I dedicate to our friends and family.
They're waiting.
To our friends and family all over the planet. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see you here this morning. So we have a real treat for you. I'd like to start out today by turning in the songbook, page 129. I live in the kingdom of light. That's 3 verses. What else is quantum stuff but light?
Good choice.
I live in the kingdom of light, the kingdom of wisdom and love, the kingdom of order, the kingdom of justice. I live in the kingdom of light. I live in the kingdom of light, the kingdom of power and love, the kingdom of brightness, the kingdom of gladness. I live in the kingdom of light. I live in the kingdom of God, the kingdom of peace and of love, the kingdom of beauty, the kingdom of plenty. I live in the kingdom of God. I'd like to recognize our guest today. Shehnaz's sons are here to support her. Would you introduce your sons?
Yes, I'm so grateful for my 3 boys here, Ahmed, Isaac, and Ian.
Nice to have you here. And we have another guest here today, Amanda. What is your last name? You want to introduce
Green.
yourself?
My name is Amanda Green. Ellen Thomas told me about this. I've also come to a couple other things that you had. I'm from Muscle Shoals, so I came over to hear you today.
Well, that's a lot to drive. Great. So glad
Nice
you're
to have
here.
you here.
Are you an astrologer?
Are you an astrologer?
I'm into it, yes.
Okay, I mean, Ellen Thomas,
We're all
you said.
into it.
Yes, she's
Okay.
amazing,
Okay.
yes. I'm thankful to be a part of like-minded people today. So thank you.
We're delighted to have you.
Thank you. We're glad you're here.
So on in the decree section of the book, on page 2, the great invocation. Together. From the
Point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plans of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth.
I'd like to introduce to you Miss Shehnaz Soni. She's been around with us for many years. I don't remember the year you started here. Do you remember?
Yes, January 2010.
2010. She's been with us and she's taken lots of classes. She's started her own thing that she does, and especially with quantum being and quantum. She's really good with this stuff. And she does have a book that she's written. It's an awesome book. If you're interested in owning one, get with her after service.
Thank you so much.
It's called Quantum Being, and that's what she's going to talk about today.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming into this gathering and creating this quantum convergence. So I'm going to make you understand the word quantum and all of that. And one of the things Donnell told me, I have 30 minutes. So when I'm speaking for 20 minutes, I would like maybe, Yamini, if you can just give me some signal that it's 10 more minutes left. Because truly, I'm not just here to talk about what I know in my years of being in this physical form. I'm here truly for you to feel what I feel as I am in this state of being. Because I would like for everyone to truly avail their potential in every aspect of their existence and in every aspect of their life. Because if you can all start doing that, I think that's what is going to really create the harmony that we are desiring. I was noticing how Danielle was lighting up all these candles, right? This one is a divine spark. I mean, that's exactly what we all have within us, which is what fuels us like a rocket, right? So I'm a NASA rocket scientist. That's my day job. I'm still working on going to the dark side of the moon. I know a lot of you question whether we even went to the moon, and that's a whole different conversation. But the whole thing is that right now we're working to go to the dark side of the moon. So that to me means that we are going to unveil the hidden layer within us, around us, and in the whole cosmos. So the very fact that we're doing that, we have to have our divine spark always lit, with active intelligence intact, with the wisdom, which we all have because, we are continuously receiving data, information, and that information transcends into wisdom when we apply it. And this school, the Center of Light, is all about applied metaphysics. So we are all here to truly transcend everything that we know up to this point into wisdom. So when we walk away from this place, we are upgraded within ourselves. Because we are upgrading at every nanosecond because of the way we process information. But when we actively make a decision to show up in a gathering like this, where you truly did not, most of you don't really know me, but the fact that you wanted to come here and show up, you're not just showing up for me, you're showing up for yourself. And the fact that you're showing up says a lot that you are ready to take that quantum leap into this new reality you want to create. So the word quantum, by the way, just if you think about quantity, right? Quantity is the word that we use in our daily lives. And quantum comes from that word. It's actually a Latin word, but it actually means amount of anything. But since we're energy being, it's an amount. It's that discrete amount that actively, when you tune into it, you make a difference in your life. And it extrapolates and it creates this new trajectory in this fractal holographic reality that is beyond your imagination. So, in order for you to really feel that beingness is the art where we birth our future, right? I'm going to actually turn the music on because I want everybody to just feel one with everything in this room and everybody else so we can feel it. And then I'm going to take a little quantum jump into my life, that how I have tapped into this wisdom and how I'm continuously evolving and how I want everybody to do the same with me so we can do this dance of life together. So let's see. I'm going to see, Donna, you have it on, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would like everybody to get up and truly feel their body with everything around them and just get lost in it even for a few seconds. Because I have limited time, so we're not going to do this for too long. But close your eyes because it helps you discern what is illusion and what is real. Notice your breathing, right, while you're moving, and that breathing is what is your tether to life. And just remember that breathing is what reminds you that you are here for a reason. You are here to channel your life through your experiences, and as you're experiencing this movement, remember that you are it. You are the quantum being, and you're the one who feels everything that happens to you every moment. So why not feel good about yourself right now, right at this moment, and just move with everything around you like you are one with the universe you're creating and the universe you are within, as above, so below. How everything around us is truly connected to us. And that is the one thing that I'm going to give you a very quick way to explain that. So we actually, everything that we see in this physical reality, which we all know is a fraction of what we see, because there is more than meets the eyes, right? We all know that. I think most of you are here actually, you've already understood that, and you've gone out of your way to even learn about that. So for me, actually, the journey of truly understanding this did start in this center of light, and I'm very grateful for all the people who showed up in my life when I walked in through the door, because I was actually one of those person who learned physics. I taught physics, and I lived with physics because of my background of engineering. But when I saw the word metaphysics, it really triggered me to say, what is beyond physics? And that led me to this door where I came and I learned everything that they could offer, to the point where I had to learn, and then I taught even Kabbalah here, because that was my way to see that, do I really understand what consciousness is? And of course I went on and I went to other mystery schools, and I continuously wanted to understand what that consciousness is. And in that quest, I did a lot of things in my own life, and then I projected that through this book, the wisdom that I have learned, that I've used in all aspects of my life. So one thing is that the whole consciousness, right, that is where the quantum being comes into play. And the reason I use the word, the quantum and being together, is because quantum is the word that we live in, because every single thing is at the quantum level moving. Every single thing is continuously moving. There's nothing truly standstill like we think it is. And the reason we think it is standstill is the reason we can watch TV and get entertained by it. Because when you're watching the TV, you don't see the pixelated TV, you actually see you get lost in the emotions of what's happening on the television. Same thing is with this physical reality. We get so distracted sometimes that we don't even realize that we have this innate power within us, that divine spark, that active intelligence, that wisdom, the quantum beingness within us that can truly help us traverse this reality into something else. So for me, I have done reality hopping many times, and the reason I wrote the book, because I want to teach people how to shop for reality, not just hop. Because hopping means you're doing it subconsciously on autopilot. And I think it's time that we truly use all our wisdom and start saying, truly, which channel I want to dial in. Where do I really want to go? What do I really want to do, right? And the fact of the matter is we have our feelings, which is a very good gauge, because it tells us when we feel shitty, when we feel good. It tells us, right? So we have all the gadgets we need. And that's what I say, that, I work on a rocket, and all the things that makes rockets so incredibly exceptional is what we have within us. We have crystal in us, we have sensor in us, we have inner navigation system, we have this, right? We have a gut, that is our inner navigation system. And so we can fuel ourselves, right? And we are self-sustaining, because our DNA is an incredible machine in its own way. I mean, I call it a machine because it's actually a machine that does so many repetitive tasks on autopilot, and because of that, we can create a disease or we can create a health, right? So we have all these good things within us, and the more we tap into that power, so the power we seek is the power within. And for me, my story of consciousness started when I recognized myself as genie in the bottle when I was 7 or 8 years old in Karachi, Pakistan, and in a very patriarchal culture where girls have no rights. And I'm thinking that, shit, this is a shit hole. I mean, because I didn't like my family, I didn't like my dad, who was so mean to me. I didn't like the fact that my mom was crying all the time. And whenever I talked to any of my aunts or uncles about life or how this is so messed up, they would say that you think too much. And of course, yeah, I thought too much because I always lived on a mental plane for the most part. And my whole thing was that I was pretty smart. I knew that if I run away from my house, I'll get kidnapped and I'll be sold. So, I'll be like a Slumdog Millionaire movie if you have watched it. It's a pretty true movie, by the way. That's what happens to young children. So the whole thing is that I was aware. So I knew that my choices are very limited. I'm in a confined place with this confined culture, this religion, this bureaucracy, and this patriarchal stuff. And I just have to truly accept that for now. But I didn't want to accept it for too long. So I kept looking at what is going to be my way out. And in that quest of knowing the way out, one of the things I picked up really fast as I was looking around was that people respect certain type of people in the society. And in the culture that I was, everybody respected anyone who spoke English. So to me, I used English as my tether to freedom. Because you see how we process information, because I wanted a freedom ultimately. But in order to get the freedom, I felt like I need to be respected by the society so they can give me the choice to be me. And in order to gain that choice, I see that there is certain skills you need to have, and that is English. So for me, learning English was one of my quests, but I could not learn English because my dad didn't even want me to go to school. English is like a whole different level. So, and I went to Urdu medium school, which was the national language of Pakistan. So for me, I started praying that I would speak English one day. And I prayed 5 times a day. I was a very good Muslim girl until the year 2000 because I wanted to make sure I followed that. My mom used me as an example for the whole family that this is the way Muslim girl needs to be. So I followed all that. But the point is that I prayed because that was the only thing I could do to speak English one day. So what I'm saying is that that is the quantum step I took. At the time, I didn't even know that I'll be speaking English in a conference room at Boeing where it's me as a Pakistani woman and then there's 4 other people, 4 of them are men and 3 of them are 5-star general, and we're talking about the reliability of the missile that we're going to protect ourselves from North Korea and Iran. And I'm right there talking to them in English. I did not know that, right? If somebody would have shown me that as a video recording while I was this struggling girl at the age of 7, I would have said, are you out of your mind? I mean, that's impossible. But nothing is impossible, right? So that quest that I had, that burning desire, that divine spark in me, ultimately led me to arrange marry a man, 1-hour interview, and come to America, a land where the only way I can survive is by speaking English. And of course I didn't speak English then either, but the good thing was that now I had to speak English and nobody was stopping me. The entire universe was saying, here, this is a playground, speak English. So I started taking English classes. I started speaking broken English to everyone. It took me 5 years to feel comfortable speaking English. But I was in Los Angeles, and I would say it's the best place to be when you are struggling with English. So, but the point is that English became my tether, right? Because English was connected with respect, with freedom. And you know, we all need that tether. So whatever the tether is for you, whatever that word is for you, whatever that desire is in you, you always should follow that dangling carrot. Because there is a reason. You have to get all the way to the end of it to figure out what is next. And that is how it is, because we are in the snake and ladder game. We're continuously playing and we're continuously deciding, and we are sometimes getting surprised whether it's a ladder that's going up or down, or whether it's a snake that's taking you to the head or tail. But this snake and ladder game is what we're here to do. And when you really learn the art of game and the rules of game and the laws of game, then it makes you function more optimally with everything around you and within you. And within you is where I feel like you need to really hone into that power, because when you disregard that feeling that you feel, when you feel like shitty, then there's a reason for that. So truly tap into that and say, what can I do to help me? Because there isn't any knight in shining armor, because I learned that. And it took me a long time to learn it because I was groomed with all the movies. The Bollywood movies is completely same as the fairy tale story that we learn here. They're all about like somebody else always comes and saves you. And you always wait for somebody else, and I waited for somebody else for the longest time. And it took me so long to realize that when you are sad and crying in your closet, and you have a whole bunch of responsibility, and you are in this mess, the only person who's saving you is truly you. But the good thing about this whole thing, that we live in a quantum field, we are connected. We're all connected with each other. We're connected with the divine, you know, whether we call it God, whether we call it source light, whether we call it primal creation. It doesn't matter what the name is. At the end of the day, all of us are interconnected. And that's scientifically proven through quantum field. So that actually is what we need to leverage into. Oh my God, we have only, okay. So the point is I can go on and on and on because I've had an amazing life. I've written 300 pages on how to apply quantum physics in your daily lives, and I can sign the book if anybody wants it right now. But bottom line is that the power we seek is the power within. And this flower of life symbol is exactly how everything can show up in your life if you weave it with the right intention, with your alignment, with everything around you, because we can create this type of beautiful sacred geometry just by our thoughts. So, since I have a few minutes left, please ask me any questions.
You've got a few, you've got till quarter to.
4 minutes. Oh,
We'll
4
give you
minutes.
some wiggle room.
She said 14. 14 minutes, you can give about 14 more minutes.
Yeah, she's got till quarter to.
Oh, perfect.
Going on.
So that's even better. So yeah, as I said, because my whole thing is that I'm not just here to tell you my story. I'm here to hear from you. And I'm here to tell you that how we can apply all these things into making your life better from wherever you are. And one of the things about quantum, the word quantum means that you can take a very tiny, tiny step in your life to exit the patterns. The patterns that are self-fulfilling prophecy, the patterns that keeps you trapped, the patterns that keeps you confused, and the pattern that keeps you living like a complacent life, you know. So,
And your book tells all that?
my book shares the story. It also explains you, yes, because what I do is I use my story to give you the idea that how I use this to transcend that. But I also explain you spiritually why it makes sense. I also explain you why scientifically it's proven. So that way you can come from 3 different angles. So I've written a book for pretty much everyone, wherever they are in their space and time. They can pick something and they will not be the same person as they were before reading the book. That's what I promise.
Cool.
It's a neat book.
I gotta get this book.
There's a time in our lives where we were just kind of stuck,
Yes,
you know, and unhappy.
yes,
And all I knew was we needed to change.
yes,
And so you get into that place where if you don't do anything, you're still stuck.
Right.
exactly, because not doing anything is a choice you're making as well.
If
And
nothing
so
changes, nothing
the choice was made to make a big leap in faith
Yes,
to come back to Huntsville, you know,
Okay.
because we're kind of stuck where we were. And once we did that, it's like all the energy of the universe was behind us to propel us into different situations, and, you know, new jobs, more money, reconnecting with friends, and it just seemed to snowball from then. It's like the universe was behind us at that point. But before, while we were there, it was like, you know, I'm not saying that it was all bad, but we got to a point where we were stuck,
right.
you know.
And you did something about
And we
it.
had to do something about it. And as long as we just stayed there and not do anything, then we would still be there in the same situation we were.
That is true. Now, one of the thing about that is,
So
right,
how does that fit into the quantum energy?
I'll explain you that, right?
Okay.
So one of the things is that we say wherever you go, there you are, right?
Yeah.
And that is true too. So a lot of time, just by relocating to another place, you're still taking all your baggage with you, right? You're still taking the thing that you think about yourself. You're still taking a lot of self-fulfilling prophecy you've created within your life, your subconscious programming, which is stored in your DNA. So you're walking with yourself. The difference that you make when you go to another place is you now park yourself in a different place in space and time. So think about this. We are here all in this 100-plus-year-old house, and this is where we all decided that this is how we're going to meet together and have this incredible experience right now, right? That space and time does matter because, you know, we are crystalline being, and we're continuously vibrating frequency-wise, and we're continuously broadcasting, here we are, and then whatever comes our way, that's what the law of attraction is, right? So what happens when you change your space and time? You have picked up yourself and now you're parked in a whole different place on Earth. So if you look at the Earth, right? When you park yourself in a different place, the ley line and all the things that is the crystal there, the people there, is of course a little bit different configuration. The form, the matter is in a different configuration. So that is a variable that you've introduced yourself. As long as you make sure that you don't go back to yourself, where you're again running on autopilot with your subconscious programming, you are going to be able to change your pattern. But you have to remember that people come in different outfits, right? Or different names. So when you move some new places, you start seeing that, oh, you know what? I have this person over there, and now that person is replaced by this one. You're going to see all that. So the thing is, you have to see whether you're truly improving your relationship or are you going back to that self-fulfilling prophecy. So you have to definitely mind it in the beginning. But the thing is that when you do pick up yourself and move yourself into another space and time, you have a big variable there because now you're in a different space and time. And in this physical reality, that does matter because the law of attraction, the source of point of origination has changed. So that's good that you did it because it requires that much strength.
I had the opposite experience. My husband took a legal job with NASA here in Huntsville, and I would be leaving my job at the Peace Corps, my home, which I love, my sisters and all of their family. I did not want to leave Arlington, Virginia, but I did. I chose to come to Huntsville.
And how was your experience?
It's not been bad,
Now, there's a whopper.
but I found the church for the first time.
And that is the thing, right? But even becoming out of, I guess going away from the comfort zone is also a good change. Because, I always say that we're here to be part of the Hunger Game, truly. Because I feel like that, we are continuously being tested, we're continuously evolving, we're continuously going through a situation, and it's like a roller coaster ride, it truly is. And that's why, because everything is a waveform, right? Everything ultimately, if you look at this entire physical reality that we have, including ourselves, you can hook it up to the oscilloscope and measure it via waveform. That's what we all are. So when you start noticing all of that, then you say, okay, you know what? I have so much options based on knowing that at the end of the day, it's all bit 0 and 1. That's the dance that we're all doing. And but the thing is, when you do honor your feelings or your discontent or your happiness or your sadness, then that shows that you're willing to stand up for yourself.
Within a few years, I knew absolutely I belonged here because of the church.
That is amazing, right? So you were able to find something that you were not even looking for from your perspective, but you were supposed to be coming here. And that's the thing, the space and time that where we park ourselves, where we buy our houses, or where we create communities, is actually very pivotal in our lives. And we should always notice that what leads us there and then how we stay there, right? What keeps us there. But at the end of the day, I always say that the only thing real in this entire universe is people. People is the most important thing. If you really think about it, like when you watch, if any one of you watch any Twilight Zone or Star Trek, at the end of the day, what is the most important thing? Because I think that we are in this big holodeck where we're performing different things, showing up different ways for people. But people,
The candle.
The candle, she didn't want
oh
you to hurt
yes,
yourself.
people is the most real thing that we're here to experience. And that's why, to me, I feel like we should all start honoring the human beings, the real human beings that are here. And there's a lot of people that are not really human beings. They are just there. And right now, with the whole thing that's happening with AI, that's another thing, another subject that we can dive into. But we really need to represent our quantum beingness, which means we represent our power, and we don't let anybody violate what truly makes us human. So,
What else did you say that we would dive into later on?
artificial intelligence.
Oh, AI.
Oh,
AI, oh. Well,
Because there's organic human being and then there is not.
Right.
Right? And that is what it is, because the thing is, and that's what anytime when I meditated, I just feel that we gotta really, all the human being needs to know that how powerful they are first. Because, we have been kind of like suppressed in a way that we kind of all beaten down, and we're all in our drama or life or story or relationships. And then we're like, my God, I want to do more than that. So yeah, let's do more than that. But the way we're going to do more than that is that we're going to make sure that we take care of our emotions first, so we don't become a problem ourselves for other people.
Sometimes I find that, big changes, like the one I was just talking about, that is not always necessary. Like if you're in your home and you feel stuck, that making a move, changing something within your home, changing the energy or that feeling in your home, and it triggers something where the energy starts moving again, where you're not static.
100% you're right.
Yeah.
And that is quantum change that you made. Because see, as soon as you can move an object within your home, you take your frame and hang it some other place. What you've done, you've changed the entire direction of flow of light and matter into you. Because everything is a dance of electron and photon, right? But when you intentionally do something, and whatever your intention is, now you're saying that I'm changing the angle, I'm changing the light, the way it needs to flow. So all of that, so that's what the quantum being is about, that you don't have to divorce someone to get rid of them. You can do some other things too. But ultimately, if you're not supposed to walk together, they will wither off, right? You can just do something where you just hone into your power and say, you know what, I'm gonna just do something for me. And if you want to walk with me, fine, but if you don't, it doesn't really matter. And as soon as you start doing that, that person will be like, holy shit, I better walk with her because I don't want to walk without her. And if that person wants to do that, they will pick up the pace.
Right.
But otherwise, they will be like, well, no, I really was not interested in walking with you to begin with. And that part shows up really fast. You know, and that to me is what we all need to do. The more you start honing into your power, you're going to see that who's walking with you and who's not. And you know, you should not even worry about that because it's like, you know, John Siegel book, right? Where
Yeah.
you are a seagull and you're flying and you may be alone for a while, but ultimately you're going to find the one that's all going to fly with you. And you're like, just like you, Peggy, you came here and you felt good. So ultimately you're going to find your tribe. But yeah, it's not an easy journey, and I can tell you, I've gone through so much shit that there are times I wonder that how many more, man? I'm just done. I have a very good obituary now. I'm ready to retire.
Very good obituary.
That's what I always say. Everybody who comes to me, what do you want your obituary to say? Let's make it happen. It's time. Anyone else?
You have had such an exciting life, so many changes, drastic changes in your life, learning English, of course, one of the most important things. And I look at my life and it's been really good, you know, no tragedies that I had to overcome to speak of. And I guess I just need to dance more.
You need to dance more. And that is the thing, right? When you don't have a lot of triggers like I had, you can become complacent, right? And then, so what I'm saying is that no matter where you are, because it's good that we all have different type of tests because we all signed up for different type of contracts, you know that. So that doesn't mean anything, but what it means is that what are you doing for yourself while you're here? Because this is a temporary space we have. So we might as well just definitely make the most of it. And when you make the most of it for yourself, you're truly affecting everybody that loves you.
Exactly. It's like that ripple effect.
That's
right.
Exactly. So yeah, and I'm so grateful for you guys to show up for me and for yourself. And I'm so grateful for my 3 boys to be here because they have never heard me speaking like that before.
Oh, really?
So yeah, this is their first time. They haven't even read my book. So yeah, they think that I'm a walking book with them, so they don't need to read my book.
I love your energy and your excitement about what you're talking, and it's just been so contagious.
Well, thank you. That is definitely my goal. That is my mission, and I'm grateful for this home, and the people, and Donnell, and all of you guys to give me the space to truly find my consciousness. And so I come here and I feel like home.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, we like having you.
Yes.
What gave you your impulse to move to the United States?
So in my case, it was interesting, right? Because the impulse was that all my life, when I was aware of my being trapped as a genie in the bottle, I knew that I needed to fly away from this reality. But as a girl, I didn't have any other option other than having somebody else give me the option. And our marriage is pretty much what you are groomed to do as a girl growing up. So I knew I'm going to get married and I'm going to change my reality. But because I had this extreme desire to truly understand my consciousness, the universe gave me a marriage, which even though it was a 1-hour interview, he picked me as a wife to fly with him to come to America. But it was kind of like, you know, we create our experiences with our desire, right? So it wasn't like a coincidence that he came and picked me. It was a destiny for me. So, but my impulse was that I wanted to understand me with the freedom around me. And America was the only land who could have given me the freedom to the point where I'm actually sharing all this, and to the point where I could not only speak English, I can write a book in English, to the point where I actually understand things from a very different perspective than a lot of you, partly because the life has been different from your point of view. So yeah, I would say that we actually create our impulses with our desire. And when we noticed, like Donnell said, that she knew she was stuck and she felt it in her heart, and then the only way she felt exit was relocation. So we create those new experiences with our impulses within ourselves, and we should always honor that, is what I'm saying. Because there's a reason if you feel scared or good or happy or sad or depressed or whatever you feel, it's very good that you feel it, and you should listen in, tune in, and say, how can I change it so I can feel good, because ultimately we all want to feel good.
One of the things I noticed in your book, and that I believe is true of us all in life, is, okay, you fixed this, you picked English, great. So then you picked, well, you got married and came to the United States, but that still had its bunch of challenges that you had to get out of to be you have actually overcame quite a lot of background to, well, kick that marriage to the curb since it wasn't working. And we do. We don't just land here and we're done, not till we're dead. And well, then that's different.
And that's
another story.
And that is exactly true, because every time you move yourself into a different perspective, different space and time, now you're parked there, now you look at the world, and now as soon as you feel like you've merged with everything, you're like, okay, I notice
What's
all
next?
these other problems.
What's next?
Exactly. Because we are here to evolve, we're here to grow, we're here to experience. So that's an ongoing journey. But the thing is, we can become a little bit more like a bird flying in the sky dance if you can leverage everything you've learned to get to that point.
And then on to the next one.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. The journey continues.
But I'd like to commend your radical changes that you made in your life, certainly against all custom that call for you to be something else.
Yes. Yes, I'm grateful for all these experiences, because it has truly given me a perspective that I think is common sense, but I'm learning it's not. And that's why I'm here to speak.
Did your family ever have any real animosity for you for doing all the things that you have done and still maintaining being a woman?
Yeah, my family did have animosity to some extent. They actually even stopped me from my first divorce. But the thing that was interesting about my family was that I was also giving them a time to kind of converge with my understanding. So that when I decided to divorce, I invited my mom and dad to come and see my shitty life for themselves. And they didn't think that it was shitty, because in their mind it was perfect. They're living far away. But then they live with me and then they realize that, oh my God, it's really bad, right? But they don't want to say it because they don't want to give me encouragement to divorce. But at the end of the day, after 3 months of living, when I go to my dad, because it was patriarchal culture, my mom would agree, if my dad would agree, and I told my dad that, what do you think? Do you think that I should stay in this marriage or leave? And my dad is like looking at me and saying, you know what, I see that they do treat you really bad. I do see that. But you know what, if you're divorced, then I'm not going to be able to help you, because I don't live here, I don't speak English, I don't have any money to give you. I'm not going to be able to help you. So if you want to do it, but don't expect me to help you. And I said, that's it. That's all I need is your approval. I don't need your help. So, and then of course, and my mom was like, and I asked my mom, and my mom is like, my only concern is that how is society going to look at me, because nobody's ever divorced in our family, right? So she was worried about the whole world. And I said, which world are you worried about? The one, that world does not wipe my tear off when I'm crying because of this miserable marriage. They're not there to help me pick up my loaf of bread even. And so basically, I was teaching my family to walk with me. So that is the dance we do, right? Because the people we love, we help them understand us. But that doesn't mean that we should not do what we're supposed to do. So for me, I always did it, but they were able to dance with me. And even like my mom right now is visiting me after 8 years, and she's just taken by my life, because I don't follow Islam like the way she does. But she respects me, because what I do, nobody does it over there.
What a win.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, what's your astrological sign?
I'm a Libra, October 15th.
Okay.
And yeah, 15 is the number 6, which is all about magnetism. So thank you. I know I've passed my time, but I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'll never forget what Peggy said one time, that when she was teaching Kabbalah here, that we had, how did you put it, Peg? We had a Pakistani, a Muslim, teaching a Jewish.
Actually, a Muslim teaching Christian a Jewish way.
A Jewish way in a metaphysical church.
It's not getting more exciting than that.
Very
When would
interesting.
you like to teach it again?
I would like to teach it truly. So let's talk about
We're
it.
looking for bringing it back, and we will have it, so give us a date.
Okay.
And we'll discuss it.
You
Okay,
know, I have
perfect.
an adopted brother from Karachi that lives in Phoenix.
Oh, wow. Okay, that sounds great.
Well, I really appreciate your energy and your words and just having you here, seeing you. So,
Great
thank you very much. At this time, if you would take whatever it is that you have as an offering for the center, and this thing keeps going
Hold on.
away, and I don't want it to do. Bless it and charge it with whatever it is that you need in your life, and send it on its way
We
to
used to
do
kiss it, leave
good work
lipstick
here
on
at the
it.
center.
The light of Christ flows through us as we give and receive God's blessings of prosperity and abundance.
Nancy, do you have any?
Well, I just thought it might be fun to sing, Gonna Sing My Lord.
Gonna sing my Lord.
I think it's 86, but I might have made it up.
Prayer basket.
Is it?
Don't rush now. Check it.
While we're doing this, we're going to pass around the prayer basket. If you have a need for prayer for yourself or anybody else, please write it in here. If not, just put your prayer energy into the basket and pass it on. There you go. They will take it and put it on our prayer sheet.
Is it 86?
Yes.
What?
Well,
This is fun.
No.
86?
fine, we're gonna get a new book, and I won't know any of them, but anyway.
Gonna sing my Lord for all that I'm worth. Gonna sing my Lord for all that I'm worth, Lord, Lord. Gonna sing my Lord for all that I'm worth. Gonna sing my Lord, 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 till I see your face. Gonna love my Lord for all that I'm worth. Gonna love my Lord for all that I'm worth, Lord, Lord. Gonna love my Lord for all that I'm worth. Gonna love my Lord, 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 till I see your face. Gonna laugh, my Lord, for all that I'm worth. Gonna laugh, my Lord, for all that I'm worth, Lord, Lord. Gonna laugh, my Lord, for all that I'm worth. Gonna laugh, Lord, till I see your face. Gonna die, my Lord, for all that I'm worth. Gonna die, my Lord, for all that I'm worth, Lord, Lord. Gonna die, my Lord, for all that I'm worth. Gonna die, my Lord, 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 till I see your face.
May they remain lit in our hearts, in our
We
minds.
need to change the die line to dance.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we can.
Gonna
About gonna die, I want to go, boom!
Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and please come back again and visit us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.